Are you young, 28 to 33, single, really wanting marriage and a family, and so frustrated with the dating scene? Then you've got to hear from my next guest, one of my graduates, Leah, who is now happily engaged and wants to share her story with you to help motivate you that things can change. All that you need is to know what to do, to get the skills and the education through the Dating to Mating group or one of the other programs in coaching that helps you overcome unhealed and unconscious childhood or love trauma. When you take that leap of faith and invest in yourself, your whole life can change. Marriage and a family for you could be also right around the corner. Listen in to beautiful Leah to get some wonderful tips and advice from someone who was just like you, hoping for a marriage with a wonderful, emotionally healthy, evolved, and conscious partner. All this and more today on Lessons in Life and Love with Coach Riana Milne.
Welcome to Lessons in Life and Love with Riana Milne, where we show you how to have the positive mindset for success in all life areas. It's time to have the life you desire and the love you deserve.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 of Lessons in Life and Love podcast. I am your host and global life and love coach, Riana Milne, coming to you every Friday on my website, lessonsinlifeandlove.com, and on your favorite podcast app. I'm all about helping you transform your life in all areas into one that you're passionate about and to help you attract and create the love that you deserve. I'm on a mad mission to help change the way the world loves. So I'll be here to teach you how to have emotionally healthy, evolved, and conscious love, and how to avoid toxic, painful relationships that are just too prevalent today. It's time to help you create the life that you desire and to have the love that you deserve. So at any time during the week, if you're struggling, reach out to talk to me at my website, rianamilne.com, and tell me what's going on. Today, we have a fabulous show with one of my graduates, Leah, who is here to share with you her journey, what her life was before coaching, and her journey to her engagement and her happiness levels today. Welcome to the show, Leah. It's so good to see you again.
Yes, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. One thing that stands out about you as one of my clients, you had called in, you were in a conference for work in Barcelona, and it was 3 a.m. And I said, oh my God, it's 3 there. And you didn't miss group. And you said, Riana, I would never miss this group. I just loved your enthusiasm and your dedication, heart, mind, soul, had all the work done. You didn't miss any classes for Dating to Mating group. And obviously your education and your willingness to learn really paid off. So I'm very excited about that.
I think that's awesome that you remember that, because it was 3 a.m. and I was actually at a conference that was like from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. It was a big deal. It was a really long day. Everyone after just wanted to sleep and recharge and go on to the next day. And I really did value this program and this class and my group so much. And I think from the first session, I realized everything I learned in the first session. I was like, oh my God, I've always needed something like this. I wish it happened sooner, but I'm thankful that it's happening now. And I would never, ever miss anything, even if it was at 3 a.m. at the other side of the world.
Oh, that's so great. I got to tell you, I've been so blessed with such amazing students, and you all come in with your different concerns and different personalities. And I'm 21 years in business, and I remember every one of you. You know, if you call me from 15 years ago and say, hey, Riana, remember me? I'm like, yeah, how's your wife? You know, or whatever. It's just, I'm so invested when somebody comes to me for help. And it really is a team effort as you are growing and learning and transforming. So I always do these check-ins twice a year, usually July and December. It's like, okay, everyone, check in, let me know how you're doing. And you did check in about 6 months ago and you were saying things are going great. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. This is wonderful. And now you have some great news to share with everyone today. But let's start at the beginning. How did you first hear about me? And what took you off the sidelines where many sit, where they say, I think I want to do coaching one day, but I'm kind of afraid, or I don't know if I really want to do a group, or I don't know if it's worth the investment. Maybe I'll do it one day. What made you take that leap of faith?
Like many people, I was searching on Google and I found your website and I found some of your videos and you had a book. And I thought, one, how smart you were and what you were writing about really stood out to me, right? I think a lot of things that's happened for me specifically in my past, I've never talked about. And it was great to read about how candid and open you are. And hey, people have issues and you have to work on them. And I have this program. And what really made me want to invest is because I really wanted to improve myself and I wanted to grow. I've done a lot of schooling. I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's. I've invested a lot of that, but I've never invested on my self-care and my mental health. And this for me was investing in my mental health and investing in my personal life. I've invested so much in my career, but not much in my personal life. And I thought to myself, what a great gift to me to
Mm-hmm.
have this. And if it works, if I can change one thing or improve myself even 1%, it was worth the investment. I think I came out of it changed like 100%. Just the opportunity to speak to someone like you and someone who's really built a business around helping people. And I said, you know what, this is a moment in time that I should be investing on myself. That's kind of how I came to the realization that this is an investment that I really have to do.
Yeah. Now, what made you decide to do the group dating to mating program where you were going to be entered with a bunch of people you didn't know versus the individual program like the platinum or the diamond or self-study? What made you choose the DTM group?
At that time, I was living in New York by
Mhm.
myself. I didn't know anybody. I had coworker friends, but nothing outside of that. And I thought this was a great way for me to connect with other people that were kind of going through similar things
Mhm.
as I was. And, I didn't know who was going to be in my group, but it was just a added component of growth for me.
Yeah. Now, most of my groups, and I'm very conscientious to make them this way, are very small.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
people are surprised to hear that because when you hear groups online, you think of 75 to 250 people signing on with all these Hollywood squares all over the place. And I think your class had 5 people.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And you had some really cool, wonderful people in your group. And I think I assigned everybody an accountability partner. So once you got to meet everyone, did it feel comfortable for you? Were you able to share your feelings, your fears, your ideas, and feel supported?
I definitely did. At first, coming into it, it was scary. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. And it was like, oh, it's fine. No, I'm an introvert. I think for me, it was hard. But once, at least the start of the first session, it did feel very welcoming. It did feel just a very safe space for people to share. And I think we all felt that and we all started sharing and started to be open. And I think sometimes a lot of people's stories you don't share with anybody.
Yeah.
This group, because everyone kind of started opening up, you felt like, okay, this is my safe space and this is a space that I can finally, for me, because I had never shared anything with anybody, finally start sharing. And people really had very similar experiences, which is also, it opens up like, wow, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
You read about things, but this is real. This is people having, things that they need to work on, and they're very similar to mine.
Right. What were some of the aha moments that you realized you had some childhood trauma and then you started understanding how that might have been impacting you today as an adult woman who also was hoping for marriage and a family? Like, what was the aha connection that you made?
It was funny because I think it was a survey of like 10 possible things that could have happened to you when you were a child
Yeah.
and like different reactions. And I was like, okay, my one thing. And it's like the first one, I'm like, check. The second one, I'm like, check. And by the 10th one, I'm like, oh my God, this class is made for me because everything on this list I have gone through and things that I really haven't thought about or worked on were there. And I think it was like, I've always needed this, and I wish more people would do this. And you don't realize some things that might not be considered childhood trauma, things of like just separation from family, it being something that can affect you so much and affect you how you even act. And it really opened up for me understanding myself even more and really accepting the things I do and realizing, some things are just because certain things happen, and to be more loving to myself and care for
Mhm.
myself more than more like, why do you do this? You need to stop acting this way. It was really, my aha moment where it's like all these things happen, love myself, understand myself, and really take care of myself because some of these things really aren't my fault.
Did that understanding happen early on, like within class one, or even in our strategy session before class one, so that when you came to class, you had an idea what would be happening and what we might be working on?
It definitely happened early on. Especially you did provide a lot of like pre-homework, and that's where it was all happening. I did
Okay.
not have though the understanding of how the work was really going to happen, and you're really going to have us share all this information, which I think it was even a plus for me. It was great. So the aha moments happen during your pre-assignments, but the real learning happened during the sessions.
Okay, great. It is, I described everyone like a rainbow. It's a learning
Hmm.
curve. And the
Yeah.
first thing we really work on is the trauma piece. And then the second part is the goal setting and changing what you want to change in your life. What was it that was going on for you that you knew you definitely wanted to change in your life? What were some of the goals that you were hoping to get from class?
For me was the dating part. I think I had been closed off to it. I was in a very long-term relationship and I really didn't want to. And I think you helped us so much. I mean, I remember, I'm not sure if you remember, you're like, you have to get on apps, like you have
Mhm.
to get out there. And I'm
Yes.
like, no way,
Everybody
this
says,
isn't
no way,
happening.
Rihanna. Yeah.
Like, I remember you're like, "So what apps are you on?" I'm like, "Oh no, she's gonna ask us. Like, I better know what app I'm gonna fake that I'm on." And at some point, I was like, "I've done so many and given myself so much to this program. I better like do this one thing." And honestly, that's how I met my now significant other. It was through an app and it was through this experience. It's not something I wanted to do, but I did. And I really did follow all the steps.
Yes, you did. You're a perfect student for me. When I rewrite the profiles for everyone, did you find that there was a difference in the type of people you were attracting? Did that rewrite and the edits help you to attract more the type of person you were looking for?
Absolutely. I mean, not only the rewrites, but the photos. Like I was using these like weird, and you're like, no, these photos are beautiful. You need to use these. I don't know why you're using those. And then the profile, absolutely. I mean, I had like emojis on my first profile, and this really added depth to me. I got a lot more people that were more serious and not clicking the like because they thought I was attractive, but actually clicking something because they are like, oh, this person's really interesting, is well spoken. And I think that totally changed the type of people that I started getting in my app dating.
Great. Now you started dating during the class once you finally took that leap of faith. And
No, yeah.
how did the people you were dating then and into the future once you graduated, how did that change from who you were dating prior? Did you see a big difference?
I did. I mean, I think the big difference was specifically what I accepted and what I didn't accept. Initially, I was meeting very attractive men that I might not go in deeper in who they are as a person. I'm like, oh, wow, they're so attractive. Let's meet and hang out
More
and have breakfast,
chemistry.
coffee. More chemistry, definitely a
Yeah.
lot more chemistry. And then after I really started seeing like what's great, there's chemistry, or maybe there isn't chemistry, but they're a wonderful person. We have the same values. We want the same things for the future. It just shifted. Thankfully, when I met someone, I that I'm with now, I don't think I would have met them because the way it worked out, like I ignored him at first, and then I spoke to them and I'm like, he's such a nice guy, but there's no chemistry there. And I was like, but let me see. He's
Yes.
wonderful. He has everything I want. Let me meet him. Let me see where it goes. And I don't think I would have ever done that in the past.
That's great. That's great. I know my clients, you all become the choosers.
Yeah.
And it's what we call conscious dating for our listeners. Like you are running through many things in your mind, all these skills and all these qualifications that you're looking for. And we don't do what we were taught in America, which is just go on chemistry. It's one of the worst things you can do. Yes, there has to be an attraction factor, no doubt. But there's so many other different things that you're looking for when you have these skills. And Leah knew what those were. So tell us about your fabulous fiance. What's he like?
Yeah, so he's my fiance now. His name is Ben. He is phenomenal. I think it's interesting because we had an exercise where we had to really write what would be, we think the right person for
Yes.
us and what are some attributes we want in a person. And he has everything plus more
Oh,
things that I
good.
could ever want. And he's fantastic. He's so kind, so loving. I don't know if I've ever met such a great match to who I am ever, ever. And I think,
Oh, that's fabulous, honey. I'm so happy for you.
thank you, thank you. But it's a long time. It's a long time coming, and obviously, I don't want to say like I did this class and this happened, but I think it really did. I think it's like so many things happened after this course for me that really got me to the point of meeting him, one, and then two, being open to more than just that crazy chemistry that I was like, I have it. This is a person. Quite opposite. It's like, yes, I'm very attracted to him, but what else? And it's like all these other things. And that's the person that I want to continue getting to know, and then dating. And then now where we're engaged, things just keep on getting better. And I think it was from building a strong foundation and it being the right person that had the right qualifications, I guess,
Yeah,
for
that's
me
right.
to be interested in.
That's so good. I'm so glad you met him by an app. That makes me feel happy. It's like, good. I'm so glad I pushed you to do that. I mean, in today's world, it's almost like a necessary evil. Of course, there's other ways to
Yeah.
meet people, but in COVID world, I mean, we're pretty limited to the apps today. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you did that and took the leap of faith. When is your wedding? What are some of the wedding plans?
Well, specific, how you're mentioning COVID, I think right now it's really interesting when we're talking about wedding dates, we're talking about 2022.
Okay.
Hopefully by then people are allowed to travel, we're comfortable and everyone getting together. But we also really do want to get married and have been speaking about family and children. So we might do something extremely small and
Okay.
then
Have the
within the next 2
celebration.
year have a big celebration. Yeah.
That sounds great. Now, you were like many of my single women that come in from the age group of 28 to 32, 33. You knew when you came in, I definitely want to meet a man for marriage and family. So I do instruct you guys to ask that question kind of early on. Did you feel empowered that you could have that conversation like in the first couple of dates?
I did. And interesting, he asked me
Oh,
like, he
good.
was like, what are you looking for? And I told him, I was like, this is what I want. He's like, great, that's what I want too. So,
Perfect.
I think, he's great. I mean, he comes from such a happy, loving family,
Oh,
um,
good.
but is also so supportive and understanding to what I like who I am.
Hmm.
But he was a lot more serious at first. Came out to be a really good thing. So, but yes, to answer your question, I was very confident to be like, this is what I want.
Oh, good for
And
you.
it just worked out that he wanted the exact same thing.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, what else has changed for you in your life? Give me an update of everything else you're doing because we haven't had a long conversation for a while.
I'm still very much in New York City, which
Okay.
is been an interesting time, but after I believe right after our sessions, I moved into a different role. I was working on the digital side in my company, and now I'm working on the more technology side. Great in my career. I've been
Great.
promoted. Yeah, I moved.
Yay.
So I was living downtown area. Now I'm living in really cool Soho area. So a lot of interesting, fun things. But I think the big thing is just, starting to plan a future with someone else and starting to talk about family and buying a home and all these really things that I only wish that I could have when I was taking the class. So it feels like a full circle. I'm just in a high
Yeah.
in with my relationship, and I think being happy in my personal life kind of overshadows everything else, even COVID and being working from home and being home all the time.
Well, we know that living in the light side, now these are some of the lessons you learn, that challenges are supposed to come, but we can
Yeah.
always either go into the fear-based dark side, or we can stay living in the light and think, what can I do? How can I be proactive and not reactive? And it kind of like keeps us all in balance. And, we pivot or segue into the things that we are able to do, maybe with the extra time or the isolation time. It doesn't
Yeah.
upset us. We just think of plan B or plan C. It sounds like your confidence levels have shot out the roof. I mean, you look amazing.
Thank
You
you.
look like this mature, confident, elegant, sophisticated lady. And when you came in before, you're kind of like the older teenager with a ponytail. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And your essence, your spirit that's sitting in front of me is like so beautiful. It's so grown, it's so confident, it's so womanly.
Thank
Leah,
you.
I'm seeing this amazing, beautiful transformation in you. It's just fabulous to see it. Your career improved, you got, that your mindset is more confident. Your wedding is coming. I mean, of course, if you need a minister, you know who to call. I'd
Yeah.
love to be a part of my clients' weddings. Is there anything else that you want our listeners to know, or that you can say in your final words of wisdom to encourage them to go for it like you did, take that leap of faith?
The part of investing in yourself and really self-care and mental health, it could change your life. I think a lot of people invest in other things and, physical appearance and career and everything. And while that is, yes, important, mental health is the most important.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have found really true happiness without accepting myself, accepting my past. So making these type of investments in a life coach or a program is so important in so many ways in your life. And I don't think people realize how important it is until you actually do it and you're like, whoa, like this is a game changer. I think
Yeah.
that's where I'll tell people is really these type of programs and just talking to someone that has a professional background in this and has had hundreds of people or even tens of people about like talking about certain things with any experience are so
Mhm.
important, I'm so thankful that I did that Google search, and I'm so thankful that I reached out to you and grateful that you're like,
Thank you.
let's do this group thing. I think you would be a great fit. And, I, without that, I really, truly, honestly don't think I would, where I would be here today talking to you, engaged and happy in my relationship.
Oh, that's so great to hear. Thank you, Leah, so much. And, I also want to encourage everybody, not always people sign up for career coaching. They sign up to find love. But when they change personally, like you said, you got a job promotion. Almost everyone I talk to, I just had another client this week. She was in at a $60,000 job. She goes, everything I'm interviewing for, I have 4 offers, all 100,000 plus. And I said, it's because your confidence has changed. You're walking in a room totally different.
Yeah.
So with this mindset for success, it just works. And it's so hard for me to explain it sometimes because I'm the coach. So for you to explain it, and you did so beautifully, to encourage people and to share the mission of helping to change the way the world loves. You're another beautiful and shining example of sharing that light and love and the emotionally healthy way to love.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to meet your man one day. Of course, if you're ever in Florida, you better give me a call.
I
And
will,
we'll get
definitely.
together in the Delray Beach area. But honey, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. You are a shining star. And I'm never so far away. You know that. You can always reach out and talk to me and let me know how you're doing. So thank you again, Lia. I really appreciate it. And for everyone else, that ends the lesson. But do keep in mind, you're only going around once in life, and it is time to create that life you desire and to have the love that you deserve. Thank you to Lia and the rest of our graduates for sharing their stories and their love. Okay, love angels and transformers, that's all we have time for today. I want to thank my very special guest and my beautiful, loving graduate, Lia, who is here for us today to help you and encourage you and motivate you to go for it when it comes to coaching and transforming your life and love relationships. Please help us share the mission of changing the way the world loves by sharing the show link with those you love and care about. Please subscribe to the show, give it a 5-star rating, and leave the comments below. Remember, you can reach out during the week for help. Just go to my website, rianamilne.com. And when you're there, get all the free resources that I have prepared for you. My ebook, Why 9 out of 10 People Struggle in Life and Love and How to Have the Love You Deserve. Free chapter downloads of my #1 bestseller, Love Beyond Your Dreams, Break Free of Toxic Relationships to Have the Love You Deserve, and Live Beyond Your Dreams, From Fear and Doubt to Personal Power, Purpose, and Success. Also, be sure to do the 4 free love tests under the quizzes tab, and you'll be amazed at how much you'll learn. And I'll be glad to decipher each test when they come in to me. Because as always, I am here to help you create that life you desire and to have the love that you deserve. Have a very beautiful, blessed, healthy, safe, amazing week, and I'll see you next time.
We want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Lessons in Life and Love with Coach Riana Milne. Go to rianamilne.com for more resources. And if you're really ready to take action to improve your life or love situation, apply now for a session with Riana. And remember, it's time to have the life you desire and the love you deserve.